Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. This is episode 3 of Joshua versus Rees 2, the proposed rematch in November or December, according to his promoter. Right, so episode 1, we talked about Rob McCracken. Episode 2, we've talked about Andrew Rees. Episode 3, we're going to talk about AJ. We're going to talk about what AJ needs to do in the rematch. Well, first of all, he shouldn't be taking this rematch, in my personal opinion. That's why you're listening in. But my personal opinion is he shouldn't be taking this rematch. Why should you take the personal rematch? The ultimate rematch is because there are too many things that AJ needs to improve on. And because this fight is so important, there may be some technical flaws there that AJ needs to iron out before he goes into the rematch. And let me explain. We know, judging from AJ's past and his history in the amateurs, he doesn't do well when forced onto a back foot, onto the back foot against short guys with good left hooks and right hands, swarming guys with faster hands than himself. We saw that in the amateurs in European championships. We also saw in the pros, Dillian White pinged him with a left hook. We also saw against Klitschko, he got caught with a right hand. Again, getting dropped by a guy who's 42 years old, hadn't done anything for 2 years. We also saw him getting hurt by Povetkin. So Joshua is a vulnerable champion at the moment, or former champion. We've also heard about many sparring stories of him being knocked out in sparring. There's now a story coming out that he doesn't do full-on sparring. That's even more concerning. The other thing about Anthony Joshua is if he is the man that's making the key decisions, if he's the guy and the people around him are not boxing people, it's a problem. If you've got PR people around you and fans and people that worship you, they're not the sort of people you want around you. Not at your innermost circle. You need people in there who've got boxing knowledge and historians in boxing, people who know the game inside out. A James El-Bashir, a Stacey McKinley, guys who have taken guys to heavyweight glory and kept them there. McKinley's trained the likes of Tony Tucker, Shannon Briggs, Mike Tyson, Samuel Peter, and now Trevor Brighton, who's challenging for the WBA Heavyweight Championship of the World, among many other different fighters within the heavyweight division. Stacey McKinley's done a great job. Of course, James El-Bashir, you all know of as well. Experienced guys who know about heavyweight boxing. No disrespect to Rob McCracken, but when you look at his history when it comes to heavyweight boxing, and heavyweight trainers will tell you it's a different proposition training a heavyweight than training a middleweight or a super middleweight. Heavyweight boxing is very different. And those in boxing will tell you, those experienced people in boxing will tell you, heavyweight boxing is very different and you need to train fighters in a different manner. That being said, McCracken's the man for the job, so we have to work with what we've got. Not that McCracken's a bad trainer now, but going into the biggest fight of your career, where everything's in a balance, surely you want to take the best steps possible. So this rematch is going ahead. Hell of a lot of pressure on McCracken. Hell of a lot of pressure on Joshua. He didn't handle the pressure the first time round against Andy Ruiz. That being said, there's lots of conspiracy theories or lots of thoughts as to why he didn't do well in the first fight. Me personally, I just think Ruiz is a better fighter. It's for Joshua to prove that wrong in the second fight. So what does AJ have to do? First and foremost, you need to keep your hands up. You need to be able to use a solid jab. The double jab right hand is going to be key for you in this fight. It's not just throwing the double jab in the right hand wildly. You've got to pick your double jab in your right hand. If you look at a good example of how to use the left jab, Wilder uses it excellently, where he uses the jab as a rangefinder to put his right hand through. So he'll touch you with the jab, but he'll do two things with the jab. He can touch you, and the jab's coming at you. The jab will come at you like that, but it can come at you like that as well. So the jab comes out and it blinds you. And then before you see it, the right hand's down the pipe at you, straight. So you'll see the jab here from Wilder, and then you'll see a right hand, bang. You don't see the right hand coming. So that's one thing that Joshua's going to need to do: set the how to set the jab up. Okay. So to put himself in a position to use the jab and use the right hand, he's got to keep his left hand up now, because in the Ruiz fight, he was throwing the jab from the waist, which meant the whole of this side, here was open. All left side is open. When you throw the jab from down here, all here is open. So you're vulnerable to getting caught over the top, because when you throw the jab and you miss, the left hook you're there to be caught. Okay, so you're there to be caught with a shot here on this side with the jab. So you're there to get caught over the top. The right hand can come over the top here, and the left hook as well. So you're vulnerable basically. This side open when you throw the jab down here. When you throw the jab up here, fair. That's how you're throwing the jab. So nobody can come around the side here. You've got that there when you're jabbing, there. And then this hand should be here when you're jabbing. But sadly with Joshua, this hand's here and this hand's down here. There. That stuff. And I don't know if he's been watching tapes of Larry Holmes, because I watched old Larry Holmes boxing when he fought against Butterbean, and he had his hands down by his side here using the jab. But Larry Holmes is an excellent left jab. Joshua doesn't have that. The other thing is distance. Joshua needs to know that Ruiz is at the end of the jab. He needs to keep Ruiz at the end of this. Nothing past. See, the problem is you're jabbing and Ruiz is coming here to you, mid-range. So Joshua has to keep Ruiz at the end of that jab. The end of the jab at all times. There's no reason our guy is 6'5" or 6'6" or 6'7" with the reach advantage that Joshua has. There's no way. My trainer used to tell me, there's no way a guy that tall, that short, should be getting inside of you. It should be an absolute nightmare on how to, on him getting on the inside. Some guy on Twitter said to me, "Oh, he should just go and watch tapes on Lennox Lewis." Well, it's not as simple as that. Lennox Lewis had an excellent jab, and he was taught very well from the amateurs to the pro game, and then had excellent tuition when he got knocked out by McCall. Lewis did the best thing possible, is get a teacher, which is where he went and got Emmanuel Stewart. You have a current guy who's from the same cloth of the Emmanuel Stewart era and James El-Bashir. You also have Stacey McKinley. These are guys that Joshua should reach out to, but he's been ignorant to those guys so far, and he's decided to stick with a British trainer. Fine, fair enough. You respect that. And I'm not knocking Rob McCracken. So we're working with what we've got here. I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you the alternatives and what could be used as a trainer. Okay, so the jab's a problem. The distance, when you talk about distance, it's being able to know when to throw your punches and when to engage and when not to engage. So there are times when you should be throwing the punch, throwing the jab, and other times you should be looking to let your right hand go. Another time you should be looking to get out of the way. Get out of the way. Another time you should be looking to, instead of throw the jab, allow the guy to come onto you and throw the uppercut and tie a person up. Joshua's not been able to show in his career so far to be able to tie a fighter up and walk him back to the ropes. What he'll have to do against Ruiz in this fight, when Ruiz wants to engage, see when Ruiz wants to open up, that's when Joshua needs to be getting onto the back foot and throwing counters. So Ruiz will come charging in. That's when he's got to be using jab, boom, boom, in his face, irritant, and constantly moving. Not just moving for moving's sake. Jab, jab, move. Constantly move. And Ruiz tries to rush inside, tie him up. Hold him, tie him up. Walk him back to the ropes. You've got to fight Ruiz when Ruiz doesn't want to fight. And you've got to fight Ruiz when he doesn't want to fight. In other words, when Ruiz wants to engage you like that, that's when you've got to box him. Right? That's where you've got to count him. So when Ruiz is rushing in, that's the time to be stepping off, using the right hand, using the uppercut, and countering Ruiz. And then when Ruiz wants to box, you take the fight to him. So the other thing Joshua's got to do, he's got to hold the center of the ring. He can't be taking a back foot step against Ruiz, because fighting off the back foot is not his style. You cannot fight off the back foot. If there's anything we've learned about Anthony Joshua, you cannot fight off the back foot. He's got to stay on the front foot. He's got to take the center of the ring, take the center of the ring, and box. Feet with a long, a wide stance do not help. When you've got your feet that long planted with your legs wide open, every time you've got your legs wide open, one of the things your legs wide open, you've got to bring them back before you can move anywhere. You've got to bring them back. So that takes time. While you're bringing your feet back in, a fighter can get a step on you. So you need to close the range of how your legs are so wide apart. You need to bring them a little closer together, right? To maneuver, to get in and out of range. The only time you gotta open your legs up like that and wide stance is when you're looking to really land power shots. But to land power shots, you better be damn sure two things when you're going to engage like that you are able to slip the shots and you've got some other way, because you're going to have to some way maneuver yourself out of position. So when you're engaging like that and you're standing and holding your ground, you'd be damn sure the guy that's throwing the punches back can't connect with you. And unfortunately, Joshua, distance and timing is a problem for him. This is not something that can be this is something that cannot be repaired between now and November. This is something that needs to go 4 or 5 fights working with a trainer. You know, this is what happens when you take certain fights easy and then you fight a guy that's real difficult. And all those other fights you've had, you've been able to get away with bad mistakes or poor technique. And now you've got a guy that's looking at that technique and examining your technique. Joshua's got to learn to hold. Another thing, all those big muscles that Joshua's got on him at the moment, he can't, all those big muscles, that causes lactic acid. You can't lug that around for 12 rounds against the guys that's putting the pressure on you. You can't, because that lactic acid builds up and then your muscles start getting stiff and you start getting tired. So another thing, when Joshua said, why am I feeling like this? It's because you're in America. It's a different climate. You know, it's a lot hotter. And, you know, you burn up energy a lot faster. You've got nervous energy and you've also got issues like dehydration, which you wouldn't have to deal with in the UK. Crowd atmosphere, pressure. This was when Joshua came and fought the first time round, it was all about the big coming to America, the big night, you know, the welcome party. This was announcing Joshua on the big stage, but it all went horribly wrong. Other things that need to happen. When Joshua comes to America this time, he's got to set his camp up like he's heavyweight champion of the world. Like how Klitschko would set his camps up professionally. I don't know how his camps was set up for last time round, but then he's set up differently by boxing people, not by PR people or your mates or somebody who thinks is smart. Set up properly with proper sparring, with guys designed like Joey Deweyko, bring him back into camp again. You're going to need Joey Deweyko, you know. Gassiev, Murat Gassiev would be good sparring as well. Huge puncher, big puncher. You know, different looks. I need to bring a couple of cruiserweights in as well for speed. I would be sparring Joshua with lots of cruiserweights and light heavies, guys who are fast, with swarming stars that can get in. Have got fast hands, very fast hands. Joshua's gonna have to work with that again. Has he got enough time to prepare and make the adjustments between then and now? Like, what I'm talking about is where he is now to November, December. I mean, I saw him doing some training. I hope that's not what he's. I saw him with some cones around him, bouncing back and forth like a statue again. That's not going to help him against Ruiz. You've got to train according to who you're fighting. That's not going to help you. Bouncing around in the middle of a playground with a couple of cones, that's not going to help you. That clearly shows me that if that was before the fight, you're in trouble. And that's now you're training, that you're in trouble. Because what you need is a Rottweiler behind you. You need a Rottweiler on you, literally, as a fighter, swarming you all the time. Because you bouncing back and forth like that, like a robot, that's not going to help you. Ruiz is fluid. He's going to be coming in, moving his head, and Ruiz is going to be bringing that heat even more intense than the first fight. Why is he going to come more intense? Because he knows he can knock you out. He knows you can take your best shot. He knows that you're not going to have a great jab. And he knows you're not going to be able to make all those adjustments in time. And he knows the pressure's on you yet again. Even though you are the challenger, he knows the pressure's on you. So there's a lot of stuff that Joshua needs to get done in a short space of time. If he does it, it's going to be incredible. But I just don't see how he's able to do that. So he's going to have to get sparring again. And there's other things. Let's forget about the physical things. Let's talk about the mental things for a second. He brought a sports psychologist in for the first time of his career. And the rumor was he brought it in because he had a fear of getting knocked out. So why in this fight did Josh have a fear of getting knocked out? Why would you bring a psychologist in for a fear of getting knocked out? Is that not a red flag? You know, if you were bringing a sports psychologist on to, you see, you're embracing a negative and hoping to get a positive out of it. Now, for me, you should be bringing a sports psychologist in to better visualization. So if you said to me, look, I'm bringing a sports psychology in so I can visualize myself, better visualization, better tunnel vision, that's for a positive. But you already start with a negative. I'm bringing a sports psychologist because I'm scared of getting knocked out. I'm worried about getting knocked out. That's a psychological smite. That's a mindset. You're already starting from a deficit. You start from a deficit, and that's what you're bringing a trainer in for, as opposed to starting from a positive. Look, I'm focused, but I want to be even more focused. I want to be even better, I want to have better visualization. I want to visualize myself knocking out rears even better still. So those are some other areas that need to be looked at as well. Really. I mean, that's one psychological thing. The other thing is the damage from this fight. The knockout damage. He got knocked down 4 times in this fight, yeah? This last fight. Knocked down 4 times. He got beaten up in there. And then whatever happened in sparring as well, because I believe something did happen in sparring. I do believe it. Why are you giving a man a gag order? If nothing happened in sparring, why are you giving a man a gag order? So clearly something happened in sparring, right? And, you know, if you got knocked out cold in sparring, or if you got knocked out in sparring 2 days before the fight, and he went in to have an extra sparring session 2 days before the fight or a week before the fight, that doesn't bode very well. Because if he got knocked out in sparring 6 days out before the fight, then surely if that was revealed, the whatever state he was in, was in Las Vegas, the Nevada State Commission, if they discovered that Joshua was suffering concussion before the fight, right, would that fight have been allowed to even go ahead? So there's some serious ramifications here in this, had they found out that he was actually concussed. He didn't look to me like a guy who was all there. And it goes into a deeper problem. If he was concussed beforehand and he went in the ring, how much more damage was caused in the ring that night? And what's the after effects of that? Oh, he's going to come back bigger and better. Really? How? We're talking about this from a psychological point of view. We're talking about this from a guy who got beat up we don't know what happened to him in sparring, whether he got really beat up in sparring or not, or he got laid out flat in sparring, we don't know. But there's some suspicions, and my thought process is there's no gag order needed if nothing happened. So if that's happened, then you've got the fight itself and the beating you took in the fight. Psychologically, he brought a guy in to prevent him getting knocked out. That was the reason why he brought this sports psychologist in. Then he gets knocked out. So psychologically, that's messed him up. No longer champion. So, and then you have that situation now where you're not champion, there's a void. You're no longer the champion of the world. Andy Ruiz is the champion of the world now. Everyone said, you'll beat him easy. Everyone's talking about you beating him. But you yourself had doubts going into the ring fighting the guy. Now there's a rematch. Everyone can call you Hercules and hype you up, and Sky can say all they want to say. You deep down know if you can beat Andy Ruiz or not. You know. Oh, I just want to get a rematch. That's big talk. That's macho talk. But are you preparing yourself for a real war? Are you going to a war with tanks and bazookas with a water pistol? Are you really taking the big opportunity, or the opportunity to get your career back on track? Are you taking it seriously? Are you going to be able to lock yourself away for 8 to 12 weeks without any media attention? Can you do that? Or will you be still doing publicity here, there, and everywhere? Are you going to be selling headphones and Lucozade, or selling aftershave, or body odor, or condoms? Or are you going to be just a fighter? And this thing about your weight, what size are you going to be? What's the lightest weight you can get down to, which you are healthy with, and is going to give you the maximum speed? You're going to need maximum speed for this fight. Bulk is a key thing. Yes, I understand the bulk, because the bulk is something you can use if you're going to lean on a heavyweight. The thing with you is you don't lean on anybody. You don't do what Lennox Lewis did. That's why the Extra Bulk was great at Lennox, because he'd lean on you, take the strength out your legs. Because you don't lean on a fighter, and you don't know how to lean, you've not been taught how to lean on a fighter, or tie a man up like Klitschko does or Lennox did. Because you don't know those things, or because you have not been taught those things, or you've not demonstrated those things in your career, there's no point in having all that big muscle. Instead, it's best for you to get leaner, lighter, so you can move around the ring. You need to be doing some high altitude training. So you need to get your ass up to Big Bear Mountain. Because that's where you're going to need more oxygen, right? And you need to be doing some good old hard fashion sparring. That's if, the remnants of the first knockout ain't there. And what happens when Andrews hits you on the chin again for the rematch? Stacey McKinley says that sort of stuff is still in the system. From the last knockout, that's still in the system. You need time to heal. And the time you've got between now and November isn't enough time to heal, according to Stacey McKinley. But again, people at Eddie Hearn know better, because, of course, they have that sort of knowledge. But there you go. Those are my thoughts. Can he win the fight? Of course he can win the fight. If he does the right things. I personally don't think he will, because I don't think, if he doesn't make the significant changes and he doesn't do the things I'm talking about there, he'll get knocked out again, because you can't go back into the fight doing the same thing that got you knocked out in the first place again. That is madness. Going in and repeating, doing the same things that you did before that caused you failure, expecting success. No. You didn't get beat. You didn't get knocked out by a lucky punch. You get knocked out by one punch. You got knocked out with a successive punches over a successive amount of rounds. Given a beating. A homemade ass whooping. That's what it was. Mexican pie whooping. That's what it was. And you need to give Andrews serious credit. You need to ignore your promoter, who turns around and says things like, "Oh, we should be beating lights at Andrew Ruiz." Why should you be beating lights at? Why should you be beating lights at Andrew Ruiz? Why? Because that's what arrogance is. What got your guy knocked out in the first place. You need to sit down. You need to employ. I would suggest to you, Mr. Hearn, to employ people who actually are boxing, who've got some boxing knowledge about them. Right, not fanboys, but actually get people around you, the boxing consultants. Get a James El-Bashir, a Stacey McKinley. Get somebody in who's got some boxing knowledge and a proven track record in boxing, and start listening to them. You know what I mean? And start doing things that are going to support your fighter rather than put your fighter in more problems. You see, when people don't buy people don't buy products, people buy people, right? And the dislike that people have for you is because you talk too damn much. We deserve a rematch, and we are we should be beating the likes of Andrew Ruiz. Why? You should beat the likes of Andrew Ruiz if you're good enough. You should beat the likes of Andrew Ruiz if you're technical, if you're sound enough. You should beat Andrew Ruiz if you put the work in, and you've done due diligence. You shouldn't beat Andrew Ruiz if you're arrogant and conceited. My friend, it's about boxing. It's not about. It's not a personality contest. It's not who can talk the most. As you've seen, no amount of talking in the world stop Andrew Ruiz taking them titles. And no amount of talking again by you and the pundits are going to stop Ruiz keeping the title. You're going to have to put some work in. And that don't mean pushing a whole heap of weights and bouncing back and forth in front of a couple of football cones or hitting the pads really hard. That's not going to solve it. You have to have a strategic. You have to have a strategy. When Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Rahman, the rematch was different. Lennox used more of his jab, came in lighter, used his footwork, and walked Rahman onto a left hook right hand combination. That was strategy. That was strategy. I'm not suggesting go sit down and watch YouTube videos, but what I am saying is that there is a way you can unlock a victory. But what I'm hearing and seeing so far, it seems that you're going to try and do the same thing all over again. Just like David Price did against Tony Thompson. They expected to beat Tony Thompson. They got knocked out by Tony Thompson. They said it was a lucky punch. They said this and that. So they fought Tony Thompson again. And Tony Thompson basically, for me, finished David Price's career there and then. That was the fight that finished David Price's career off. Never the same after that. So, and a lot of those people who were pushing Price into that rematch, a lot of those people who were calling Price, call it a lucky punch, are the same advisors that are advising Joshua to take this rematch. The same advisors, the same people. Oh, the same camp that said Audley Harrison was going to beat David Haye. Remember that? Or Jeff Hardy was going to beat Gary Mason. Remember that? Or Herbie Hyde was going to beat Riddick Bowe. Remember that? This does not look good. But I guess for this video, what Joshua has to do is block all of that out, work with the attributes he's got, ignore all the hype, ignore all the Sky Sports talk. He needs to focus 110% on getting the game plan right. And the best way to know you've got your game plan right is to talk with boxing experts. So that's it. Because Ruiz is going to be coming hard again. Unless they buy Ruiz off, unless they pay him off and say, look, mate, step aside. Here's some money here. Go. We need to continue this journey with Joshua. Here's your money. Unless they're going to pay serious money to Ruiz, this could end up another painful night in America. You've been warned.